Machhar, Director Ecosystem Entrepreneurship from Wadhwani Foundation with us today. They will share expert tips and techniques to help you create a powerful investor's pitch and impress potential investors. So let's give them a warm welcome and get ready to learn.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the welcome. Hello, good afternoon all. Before we move ahead, I would like to give a short, brief introduction about myself. I am Dr. Deepak Motwani, born and brought up in a Tier 3 town of Madhya Pradesh. After that, I completed my BTech because I was not very sure that what to do after 12th. Completed the BTech like most of you. Again, I did another program which is very common in India, that is MBA. I did MBA in marketing. It went very well, and I got my ultimate destination that okay, what I want to do in my life. Marketing was something where I was more comfortable. I was doing good. I was having a lot of ideas, and after that I started my own venture. It was the way back in 2010 when very few people was aware about the entrepreneurship. Nobody was talking about it. But I ran my company for 5 long years. I gone through the entire journey that okay, how to build a venture from zero and make it very amazing, very full profitable. And then there was another plan from the destiny. I exited from my own venture. I joined Wadhwani Foundation. I came into the next, I would say, the next phase of my journey. And currently, I am heading the investment relation at Wadhwani Foundation, where we are helping thousands of startups to raise money from our network. We will be happy to share a lot about our journey and how we are helping founders so that they can raise money, they can grow in their journey. But before that, I would like to invite Ankit for an introduction.
Thank
Over
you,
to you.
Deepak.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Hello? Audible? Better now? Okay. Good afternoon. Once again, good afternoon. Okay, I know you had lunch, or many of you may not had the time to get the lunch, but we'll try make it very interesting so that and have a lot of interaction so that you don't get zoned out. This topic itself is about discussions. While there are a couple of slides that we want to run, but more importantly, it's important that we have discussions, queries, questions that you have so that some of these things from both of our experience we can share with you. Some of the things we can go back and maybe come back to you later. Quick introduction. My name is Ankit Machhar. I'm Director Ecosystem at Wadhwani Foundation. I lead the Lift Off program, which is India's largest startup support program, where we've worked with close to around 3,500 startups in the last 2.5 years. Quick personal background. Like Deepak, I also is a accidental engineer. Did my MBA, which was in family business entrepreneurship. Come from a family business background, so I've seen how the businesses operate right from childhood. Because on the breakfast, on the dinner table, you only talk about business when you're in a business family. I got into entrepreneurship while I was doing my MBA, and that's where the kind of E of entrepreneurship was exposed. Did multiple things. Last 13 years, I've spent working with thousands of early stage startups, helping them with various strategies, getting them funding ready, and then getting investment raised. Uh, Investor, mentor, enabler, and more through the program, we kind of support large number of entrepreneurs. So that's a brief about me. I also want you to take you through the entire quick introduction on the foundation, what we are and what we are doing, so that you have some brief about that. But before we go into that, a quick understanding of the audience here. How many of you are founders? You have your own startup and you're doing your own entrepreneurship journey. Once again, please, again, sorry. Okay. How many of you have raised funding? How many of you are looking to raise funding? Okay, all of you.
Very good.
Okay. How many of you know about the foundation?
Only two,
One or two. Okay, few of
four,
you.
five.
Okay, so then I'll quickly give you an introduction for the rest of the audience. It might be repeat for all of you, but just let me kind of quickly talk about. We are a not-for-profit, a philanthropic initiative working with a mission to create jobs, not just job, but trying to create family-sustaining jobs through entrepreneurship, innovation, and skill development. Currently scaling our impact across Asia, Africa, Latin America, and US. The foundation is a philanthropic initiative started by Dr. Wadhwani. Ramesh is an IT Bombay graduate, moved to Silicon Valley, started multiple ventures. The third venture that he built took an exit for more than $9 billion way back in 1999. That's 9 unicorn, way back 25 years back. 2004 is where the foundation was started. He's committed $1 billion to the foundation and eventually 80% of his wealth. This is a completely a philanthropic initiative. We don't take any external funding so that we don't dilute the mission, which is job creation. These are various initiatives. We work on entrepreneurship side, skilling side, innovation research, and government. Entrepreneurship is the vertical that I'll talk. These are various programs that we do for students, for startups, for SMEs, on the skilling side for job seekers, academicians, research, innovation, and then of course government. A lot of these things, of course, India focus, and then there are Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America, and US as well. This is our presence currently. Quickly coming to the program that we do for early stage startup, which is called Liftoff, where we run a 3 months support program. The overall journey primarily helps entrepreneur with gap analysis, goal setting exercise, the live expert sessions, curated masterclasses, playbook roundtable, which is peer-to-peer networking and connect. One-on-one expert connect. We have 250 plus mentors and experts that we put together across India, domain sector specific. So the entrepreneur get access to them. There's office hours with our program management team. Finally, we do a lot of time spent on getting them ready from an investment point of view. So we do mock pitches, startups come present, we give feedback. The ones that are ready, we then take them to the demo day and do demo day with our partners. We don't invest into startups. We also don't take any equity or commission, and the entire program is also completely free of cost. We are more of an enabler and bringing the network together. This is our presence in the last 2.5 years, where we've worked with close to around 150 partners across India. The model is we work with partners, incubators, accelerators, state startup mission, angel investors, and other ecosystem enablers across India. And as part of rewards, as I said, it's completely pro bono. We don't charge. We don't invest. We are not an investor. We also don't take any equity or commission. The idea here is to collaborate with a partner, bring the knowledge part, the curated content, consultants, experts, mentor, and the network that an entrepreneur can get across India, be it granting agencies or institutional investors. So that's what we do. Let's quickly get into today's agenda. The next 10 minutes, sorry about my voice. Next 10 minutes, we quickly want to take you through a couple of slides. The idea is to make you understand from an investor perspective what all an investor look into a pitch, why do they reject, and what are the areas that you can put it into your pitch deck so that you understand to get your first meeting with the investor. The objective here is how do you get your first meeting? How many of you have started pitching to the investors? Okay, only few of you. Others, have you have your pitch deck ready? Or do you not even have a pitch deck? Okay, do you understand what a pitch deck is, right? Everyone? Let's quickly understand some data, and we'll talk about on the data points. Anyone can tell me how many total number of startups in India?
Any random number.
5,000, 50,000,
Yeah, because you should be aware about your competition.
5
Like,
lakh, 10
yeah.
lakh. How many total number of startups in India? Anyone? 5 crores. 1
1
crore.
crore.
1
Okay.
crore. Okay, that's one number.
Then you are very lucky. We don't have that kind of competition.
Anyone? 2
2
lakhs.
lakhs.
Okay, very near. 5
5
lakhs.
lakhs.
Okay, 2 lakh is near.
1.5. Okay.
So as per
Almost there. Yeah.
as per Startup India, which is the recognition agency that we follow everyone in India, is 1,40,000 startups that are registered with Startup India. Of course, there are many others who have not registered, or there are few, but that's the number that we go with. Uh, how many of these got funded? Let's say from 2016 till 2024. Out of 1,40,000, any random number, any guess? And funding that I'm talking about from an institutional investor, from an angel investor, micro VC or VC. Any guess?
10,000.
Sorry? 2,000, 10,000, 5,000. Yeah, so nearly about 5,000, 6,000 startups that have got funding in the last 8 years out of 1,40,000. And any number that you might know about last year and this year? So last year was close to around 450. This year till H1, we were around 300. And this is what I'm talking about, institutional funding, not taking into account of the various government grants that are available, which there is no record as of now because a lot of scattered data. This is an institutional investor registered with SEBI investing into a startup, and that's data is being getting counted on various platforms. So 1,40,000, 6,000 almost getting funded, and then every year we are looking at 400, 500 startups actually raising funds. So that's the funnel that we are talking about. So there's something that you need as an entrepreneur, you need to do to stand out and come into that 500, 600, whatever the number is. Forget about the funding winter and other stuff, but at least from our side as a founder, what we need to do. So that's where I was talking. We'll come to that data later. This is a general ecosystem landscape in India, primarily at different stages. And why I'm sharing this, because you should understand at what stage you are and accordingly take. So what we have done is who the audience is, what are their needs or focus area, what is the support system available at each of the stages, what are the funding sources that you should be looking at. So if you are at a prototype stage, where should you be going? If you are at traction, where should you be going? So that's primarily the idea here to kind of give you. If you are at prototype MVP stage, the major sources of funding is primarily the accelerators, state startup mission. There are a lot of corporates that are working. And now there are some angel investors that have started coming in at this stage, right? Now, unless you are here, going to a VC will not make sense, right? It will be, if you are at a right stage, then only go to the right kind of source of funding. Otherwise, you'll get rejection. So that's primarily as you move in the stages. And this is one of the facts that we've been saying. Almost 90% of the startups fail, and you know the data, right? 1,40,000, only 5,000, and then out of that, only 500 actually getting funding every year. So why? What is happening? And where are we going wrong? And top reasons that investors have given is primarily There's no market need, lot of cash burn, poor unit economies, incompatible team, and finally, very important that we keep seeing at early stage startups and founders, we will build it, people will buy it. So build it and they will come. They meaning here, customers will come. That's what the mindset that we've seen, and that's what investors, while working with so many of investors that we've got, that a lot of these founders keep building their product, doesn't focus on who my customer is and why investors decline. That's another list of things. So let me give you factors that are considered by investors when they're evaluating a startup. Very important at an early stage startup, when you are between idea to early traction, that stage when you're looking at angel investment, micro VC, and very early VC funding up to $1 million, very important is founders' track record, because that's what they will count on. So first and foremost, who's the team, who's the founder, what's their experience, what has been their skills, how good they are in understanding the problem that they're trying to solve. That's founders' track record. This is primarily on the second part. They go deeper into, again, on the founder and the founding team and what they're doing. Asset heavy models, asset heavy business models rarely find good investors. It takes a lot of time to get investors on board if you are very asset heavy in your entire business model. So low asset or a low capex requirements. This is your moat. What's your value prop? Why you and why not the other 1 lakh plus founders that are there in the market doing similar things? Growth potential. This is primarily on overall market, and of course, the competitive advantage. Deepak, you want to add anything?
Oh, if you want any detail on any point, you can please ask, because we can cover a lot, we can share a lot. Or if you have any doubt, you want to give any more description, we will be happy. Oh, yeah. Because when you are at early age, the maximum bet is happening on the founder only. So that's why the first point is the founder track record. When you are raising the first check from any of the it could be the incubator or it could be the angel network, the bet will be on the founder only, because there is no unique idea kind of available now. Maximum ideas are happening maybe in India, maybe in world, but founders are something, if they have the expertise, they have the knowledge to make it possible, execution is the key. Yeah.
I have a doubt. Like I started applying for, I mean, pitching for certain investors and certain programs, but after I am meeting with my, my mentor, I got a clear idea that this is the pitch I am not supposed to send to an investor. Okay. I got that idea, and I am a single, a founding person. I actually don't have a co-founder. So one slide I was asked to build is the team page. So in the team, I'm only able to put my own image and my own background. And my background is like, since I am growing up, I don't have something, a milestone to add, or maybe, there is nothing to, make them, impress.
Okay.
So that's a concern which I am facing right now.
Okay.
I understood what exactly I should make, but I don't have the content to put into that pitch.
Okay.
So how can I go ahead?
So you should always have the plan. So let's say if you are the Ulu founder, you are willing to raise money.
Yeah.
When you are going to the investor, you can highlight that, okay, currently I am doing all these things, but when I will have the money, maybe from you, maybe from anybody else, I will be hiring these profile. So profile can be mentioned on the deck that, okay, you will be hiring marketing person, finance person, technology person who will be helping you to build. And if you have identified that person, you can also mention the profile. Don't mention the name that, okay, I will bring Ankit only. No. It could be anyone who has very good hold on the technology, who has built the business earlier. He can help me a lot. So these kind of planning you can always mention in the team slide, even if you are alone. So no worries in it.
And just to add on this, so this, and then second, very important at the early stage, you should identify a good mentor, advisor,
Correct.
and if you and onboard them not just on the PPT, but actually they are supporting you, helping you, mentoring you, guiding you in the technology, in the GTM, in the market access, or in the product development, and then show that this while I'm alone, but I have supporters with me who are working, and then this is my plan to get on board. And of course, anyone with 15 years of experience wouldn't come like that. I'm speaking to people, but they have their own responsibility. So that's why I'm raising money as well.
I actually have one more doubt. Can I ask?
Sure.
The thing is, like, I'm running a tech startup, but I'm not from a tech background.
Okay.
I completed my graduation in botany, then I took my MBA, and I was actually marketing an ERP product for 4 years. And in 2015, I started my own company. My flagship product is also a custom ERP product. From out of passion and all, I'm started building certain products, and some is having a local penetration and all. But my genuine question is, in case if I am putting my background like in a similar way, will it be acceptable by an investor? That's my question. Say for example, I'm not from a tech background, so I should depend a person. That's the thing.
Okay, to answer that, you can always highlight some of the example that there is always an exception when you are passionate about the technology and you know how to build it. Oh, building a platform is very easy. You can hire any number of engineers and they can build it. But having the clear mindset that okay, what to build and how it will go from the inflow to outflow, which is more important. And there is always an exception. Oh, if we take the example of Kunal Shah, he is not a techie. He is always building the tech platform only. He is raising money, he is doing good, everything is happening well. It is all about your mind that okay, how you are planning the execution thing. Writing the code is never going to be a challenge. Oh, you can always hire. If anybody is asking you that, okay, how you will write the code, you can always mention that, hey, I will be leading the business. I will not be writing the code. Writing a code could be done by any engineer. I can hire any day. It is not a big deal. The big deal is how to make it big, right?
And
Yeah.
if you look at top investors that are investing in founders at early stage, what they're looking at is how much the founder has insight on the customer, right? If you can talk about those insights in specific areas where the customer needs the solution with justification, that's more important than whether you come from a tech background or not. Definitely that adds value, but more important, first thing first they look is how much you know about the customer and the problem that you're trying to solve, and how good have your insights are. Okay, we'll take questions at the end. Let me quickly now go to next few slides. This is very important for you to understand. As an investor, like for us at Wadhwani Foundation, we receive on an average 20-25 decks every day. For an investors, the same scenario, they receive average 10 decks every day. And as an investor, if I have to spend time on usually a deck that we look at, it's very heavy, 20, 25, 30 slides. Now, if I have to do a justice to look at each of the slides, on an average, I'll spend 30 to 40 minutes on each deck. If I look at 10 decks every day, that's almost 5 to 6 hours a day, which as an investor, I don't have time, right? So what happens is most of these decks go to analysts, interns, they evaluate and give their, so very important is what you're putting in your deck and how crisp, how concise this is. It's not important about number of slides. It's important about what you're talking about, those 5-7 factors that we spoke about. Otherwise, nobody has time to look at your deck, and it will go to an intern with due respect to their limited experience, either pass it or reject it, and you'll never receive an rejection email also. This, from an investor point, very important to understand. So what does you should put in your deck is quickly, first thing first, who are you pitching to? You would rightly put it. Who, at what stage, who are you pitching to is very important. And majority of the decks that we receive, they are all product decks. we are not looking at your product. We're looking at an investment opportunity, whether this idea, this business model makes sense for investment. And the decks that we receive are product features, 10 slides on how we are building the entire tech, what are the different features and everything, which is not of use if there is no business model around it. So if you're pitching to an investor, use an investor deck. If you're pitching to a customer, use a product deck, and so on and so forth. Right? Very important. Who are you pitching to? And what stage, which investor you're pitching to? What's your story? Start with very important. Why did you start? What led you to start this? What's your story? Is there a personal, is there a family reason to start this, and so on and so forth? And that got you started with, and that's the personalized customization that you can do for your deck. Rest of the things are all, everyone knows these 10 slides to be put, but how do you personalize to your insights that you've gained because there's something happened to you, in your family, into your friends, or you looked at the problem in the society and so on and so forth. So build your story, start with your story, why did you start, and everything. Very important, they want to look at your business model and whether it is validated. Now at early stage, you may not, validation has different matrix to look at. At early stage, when you're doing prototyping, you're doing MVP, it's more about customer feedback, customer insights for a validation. Once you have built the product, then it's more about how many customer, how much revenue, and so on and so forth. So different metrics at different stages of validation, but they're looking at what's the business model and can it grow. So problem, solution, very important is you understand unit economics. And as we move forward in the journey, traction. And I'm keep coming to unit economics again and again. You should know what your unit economies are, what matrix you are targeting, and whether the investor that you're pitching is also from your sector or not. If you are a D2C startup and pitching to a deep tech startup, it's not a match. And he may not consider any of these unit economies to even worth considering, right? So think about who are you pitching and accordingly take your relevant unit economies. These are all general unit economics, but for your startup, what makes sense, you should know about that. And this is the 12 slides usually that should be there, not more than 12 slides, crisp, concise, clear, giving the story, giving the business model, giving the validation, and that should get you the first meeting. So I'm not going into the details of each of them, pretty clear on their own, but this is the sequence that you should be following. And a lot of questions come on valuation. Like, and Deepak can give more answers because he deals with investment on daily basis. We get lot of cases where the traction is not there and they're looking at $1 million valuation, $5 million valuation, or they have 5 lakh as an annual revenue and they're looking at 50 crore valuation and so on and so forth. 90% will not work. There could be a lot of outliers which we are not discussing. It could be because the second time, third time, fourth time founder, it could be other reasons. But primarily arriving at valuation from an investor point of view, they look at what your competitive advantages. If you are a B2B or if you are a SaaS based model, what's the predictability of future revenue? High gross margins, how are you doing in reaching out to your customers? And then what has been the past growth? Last 3 to 6 months growth is very important. Or if you have done some fundraise in the past, family round, grants, let's say you raised 20 lakhs 6 months back. What did you do with that 20 lakhs? What has been the progress with those 20 lakhs? Or if you raise, let's say 1 CR, last year, what has happened with that 1 CR? So what's the growth? And it's not just 1x, 1.5x, 2x growth that we are looking at. They want to understand, are you growing like a hockey stick, right? So that's something which is about past growth. Anything, Deepak, you?
Yeah, because we have most of the first-time founder here, and you are about to raise money. So that is my advice that when you are pitching for the very first time, don't talk about valuation. There should be no cap in your mind, because valuation is something which is mutual between you and the investor. So you should always be open for the convertible note. So let's say I have very low revenue today, maybe 5 lakh rupees per year, 10 lakh rupees per year. I don't want to go into the valuation game, but I will be open for it. Or today I can raise money with a convertible note. Maybe after 2 years when I will be having the revenue of 5 crore rupees, then we can add the valuation and then you can convert your investment, right? So that is always better, because if you will go with the particular number that okay, I am raising money at the valuation of 50 crore, nobody is going to give it to you, right? And then there will be a rejection. You will feel like okay, I am working hard, my idea is very innovative, they are not able to understand. They are able to understand, but they have a lot of options. It is not like only you are pitching to them, you are raising money. There are number of startups, right? So you should always be very flexible. You should always be open that okay, if that is not happening, what can be done? And that is the beauty of entrepreneurship, that okay, you will get no today, you will get yes tomorrow. So you have to do it.
Right,
Yeah.
and this is one of the reasons also why decks get rejected, because a lot of investors have their thesis where they don't want to go beyond a particular valuation. And now if you put, let's say they invest only up to 40 crore valuation and you have put in 50 crore, automatically it gets rejected at the analyst level because you're asking more, which is beyond their thesis. They'll not even go into who and why and all, because you put it in the deck. That's where you show that you're very clear about this is my valuation, right? That's what Deepak is talking about. We also get a lot of these decks where we see they're raising $1 million at a valuation of $5 million, and our program is not meant for startups that are $1 million something. We don't take them into program, right? But maybe because in your enthusiasm you put it $1 million because that sounds cool, you got rejected. So think about who are you pitching, what is their mandate, what stage they take in, and accordingly craft your pitch deck. Every application will be a customized, should be a customized application to whoever you are applying. Don't put a cookie cutter, okay, I made a deck 6 months back, not updated, just send it and apply it everywhere, spray it everywhere, somebody will give me response. Doesn't work like that. How investors evaluate, let me give you the process also. It's usually a two-step process to get your even first meeting. As soon as you apply with these 12, 15 decks, the first thing is internal team, which usually is an intern or an analyst who looks at from a mandate perspective, from their thesis perspective, from a sector perspective, valuation perspective, and everything stage perspective, and what is the idea. And then they decide whether to do a second round of call with you. Your goal should be to get your first step cleared so that you can get your first meeting. That should be a goal from your pitch deck, nothing else. The idea is get your first meeting and then you can talk about in detail what you're doing, what your vision is, and everything. As I said, 10, 12, not more than 15 slides. I would say 12 slides. Talk about opportunity, business case, competent team, and if you have any traction or validation that you've done. Your first pitch goal is to get your first meeting. That's it. So I'm not going into details about all this. And just not a pitch deck, have a executive summary, a draft email that you should send to, in the email also PFA my pitch deck for your review. Nobody is going to look at that. Have a executive summary written, a pitch deck, a elevator pitch, an email note, a 30-second, 60-second video pitch if you can make. So these are different versions of things that you can do and keep it ready. Think this as an investment. Raising investment is a full-time job. As a founder, it takes a lot of bandwidth. And if you're solo founder, all the more, because you're on one side, you have to do your operation. Second area, you have to do it as a full-time job to raise investments. And for that, you need to keep a lot of things ready. So just not pitch deck, but have different versions of pitch deck for different kind of audiences. That's it. Some tools available that you can use. Yeah, thank you. Now we are open to Q&A, whatever questions, anything that you have, happy to take those questions.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Little louder.
All right. Better now?
Yeah.
Ankit, my question is around how you operate at Wadhwani Foundation. I know you get a lot of pitches. Where do you usually, at what stage do you usually select startups? Like at a conceptualization stage, or do you see a proof of concept, or do you want to go further ahead before you start supporting them? What's the usual mindset?
So till this year, we were supporting startups at 2 stages. One was at prototype stage, helping them to launch readiness. And we were supporting startups at traction stage, getting them their first institutional funding and getting them into growth and product market fit. So those are the 2 stages, 2 different programs that we were running. 2025, we are actually widening the entire horizon. We'll be taking startups at idea stage, prototype stage, MVP stage, early traction stage, and take them through the entire journey. This year alone, we have supported 2,500 startups. By end of December, we'll do that. Next year, we're taking it to 7,000 startups. So that, and different program, different stage will have different offerings. Idea stage will have different offering to give, because we know what are the major gaps that are required and support required at idea stage, versus a traction stage startup who's already have got some traction in the market. They're looking at very specific nuances of support that is required, maybe a gap, maybe a expert connect, maybe a GTM part. Bring that and then connect them to the investors. So that's
Application and selection, because
4 weeks usually we take. Every month we start with 4 cohorts. 150 startups get started every month. That's the scale. Next year onwards, it will be higher numbers. But it's a cohort model. Overall duration of the program is 3 months. Lot of these next year, a lot of this will be automized. You'll be able to do it on your own way, do it yourself kind of thing, with a lot of live sessions, mentor connects and everything. Yeah.
Great session, sir. Thank you. Do you, beyond tech startups, do you also look at other startups? I'm sorry, I do not know much about it. So I'm asking if you also fund and help startups that are beyond the tech platforms.
Right. So a good question. We are looking at something which is defined by Startup India as startup. If they fall into that category, we kind of provide that support. We are sector agnostic. Our cohorts are sector agnostic. We do run sector specific cohorts as well, depending on the partner who we are partnering with. So we have done health tech, medical devices, we have done agri tech, we've done manufacturing, robotics, all those cohorts, women cohorts as well, all women entrepreneurs. But largely the cohorts that we run are sector agnostic, but you fall under the Startup India definition.
Yeah, because I belong to one of those startups which do not fall in this tech category. The one more question. When you mentioned about do not put a valuation initially and take the funding. So at later stage, what is the kind of understanding you have? Because Uh, I can only imagine having a very long debate to finally arrive at that and the dilution of your equity.
Okay. So whenever you are raising money on the convertible note, right, there will be some clauses available in the agreement that if you will achieve 20 crore rupees revenue in 2 years, then your valuation will be XYZ, right? If you are not able to achieve, your valuation will be XYZ. So everything will be defined in advance. There will be no conflict. But yeah, today there will be no conversion, no dilution of your equity. It will be diluted when you will have that duration covered. Yeah.
Yeah, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the session. I have two questions. The first one being in the ask slide, right? Are you suggesting that we don't add the valuation that we think is there and leave it generally open? That's my first question. And second question, with respect to creating a pitch deck, I have seen people go to designers and get it visually very beautifully done, right? Is that the norm, or can we just use Canva and our own designing perspectives and create something, or what is generally preferred?
Okay. Oh, for amount, you should be very clear that okay, I am raising 50 lakh rupees or 5 crore rupees or 500 crore rupees. Because you know that if I will get the money, then I will be able to achieve my next few ages, right? Oh, that clarity is needed, but valuation should not be there only on the early age. But if you have raised money earlier, your valuation is already defined by one of the investor, you are raising the next round, definitely the valuation will be high. Or you cannot keep it open that okay, I am available and I can have the discussion. You need to have something in mind that okay, my valuation was XYZ before 2 years. Now I am raising again. Oh, I am looking for that kind of growth. I will be looking for that kind of valuation. That is the answer for your question. Second, there is not mandatory that you should go to a designer to have the pitch deck. You can design it if you know it better. But many founders, because they don't have the bandwidth, they don't have the time to learn Canva now. So they are going to the external agencies or the freelancer. Hey, can you help me to design this? That is also again a very good option, but completely depending on the founder. Nothing to do with the conversion that okay, only designer is creating a deck, you will be raising money. No. If you are creating your deck, you can raise money.
So it would be more about the content rather than the look and feel.
Correct, correct. Oh, it
Yeah,
is not
it is-
about the design, it is
it
about
is-
the content.
Concise, clear, and those 5 things that you're looking, if that is there, design doesn't matter. But definitely don't use very basic PowerPoint colors, which definitely puts as an investor off. So use decent design, or plain background is good enough.
Hello. Hello, sir. My question is, do investors invest in a service company which is from a tech field? I've got a current trend because I have heard many saying that service companies are all done. Everybody's looking on the product based.
Oh, in my observation, the conversion is very, very low. Oh, investors are not looking for the industry or the companies. If you are building any product using the technology, the conversion ratio will be high. But we cannot say that it is not happening. There might be few companies, those are offering very good survey. Nowadays, after the Shark Tank India, we have seen that many food chains are coming and raising money. They are completely into the survey. They don't have any product, specific product, right? But they are able to raise money. So this is happening, but yeah, if we compare both the data, then the conversion ratio is low. Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Bridget. We have designed a new product in wellness industry, and it's a new product. And what's the scope of a new product, and what are the challenges of a new product while pitching? And also, what are the advantages and disadvantages of pitching while pitching a new product? It's a entirely new product. So what are the things we should remember? We should
keep in our mind while pitching this kind of a product?
Any product should have this 10, 12 slides, right? Why are you building this? That's where, why are you building, the story comes in. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Then you talk about your product. Who is it for? That's where customer comes in. And then why now, which is the timing part of it. Why can only you solve it and nobody else? And that's answer to you also. Like if a services company, if you can do a services company, can other also do it? And if they can do it, then there is no innovation, right? That's where they don't usually invest into a services company. And then the first part here is primarily about the founder and the problem. So it's problem and the founder fit. Second part is primarily about the business part of it. How big is the market? What's the business model? Who else is doing and all that stuff. So any product, whether new or anything, it should have these 10, 12 components built into a story.
What is the minimum and maximum amount that you are funding for a startup?
12 slides that I spoke about, these 12 factors we should talk about.
Not the slides, the amount. You are fund.
Amount depends on what is the product, right? If it is a SaaS product or a platform, I would say you don't even need more than 10, 15 lakhs to build it, because you should be able to build it yourself. It's a medical device, then you'll have to have a lot of funding required to build the product, do the clinical trials, get it tested, validated before you can actually launch into the market, right? To file the patents and everything. So there the funding amount that you need may go into crores. So depending on what the product is.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a generic question. You just explained the various factors that investors might look into while they are valuing a startup. And out of that, moat was one thing. So is a moat always necessary to have? Because nowadays competition is fast to catch up, and a moat that existed before may not be there tomorrow. So what's your take on that?
You want to take
So it is always good to have more, but if you don't have, don't worry about it. Because I already mentioned earlier also that it is more about the execution. Whatever problem you have identified that, okay, I want to build a solution around that problem. How you are going to make it possible is more important. It could be because of your knowledge, because of your experience, because of the team, because of the opportunity you have. If you have the mode, definitely it will be an advantage. But if you don't have, don't worry about it.
So moat could be various things. Moat could be you have a very deep insight into a customer which your competitor has not done it. So that's a moat. Other mode could be a distribution. You, in your past experience, you build a distribution and network, and if you launch a product, you'll be able to reach faster into the market. That could also be a mode. So you have to find how do I pitch what I am good at and put it into a mode. Okay, any other question?
Done?
All done? Great, thank you so. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hello. So one more question. So you are telling that for product it's like 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, right? For developing a software, if it's a software product. So will the investors invest for the marketing side or only for the product development or itself?
So when I said for 10, 15 lakh, it was like an app or a platform that you're developing.
Yeah.
Right? Usually the expectation is you should be a techie to be able to build an initial app or platform which you can get at the market validation part. Then you go deep and build your team and create a full-fledged product out of that. So that's what I'm saying. You should be able to build on your own because that's minimum expected. Investor do give money once you have done the validation, and now you want to build the high end on the product side as well as get into the market for GTM, marketing, sales, hiring the tech team that you will need now to make it more robust and the scale that you will require to grow. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Just one last question. Do you invest in sustainable startups? Because we are manufacturing alternative to single-use plastic products.
So again, as a foundation, we do not invest in any startup. We don't take anything from the startup. This is completely a pro bono initiative. We have investors who look for impact-based funding, sustainability funding, social impact kind of thing. So we can connect you with those people, and then you have to kind of pitch to them and take it forward.
Yep. My question is regarding the competition slide. In my startup, we associate with schools and give solutions to parents directly. So now my competitors mainly involve people who have access to schools like ERP players, publishers, and also then say for example career counseling people who have access to parents. So the way I had decided my competition slide is I have access to both, which makes me better. So should I be mentioning the specific people in the ERP side or the counseling side as my competitors, or a general understanding that these are the different categories would be enough? Should I go into the specifics so that people will know, okay, this company has so much valuation, so maybe we can equate with them? Is that the main understanding or the requirement from the competition slide, or this is generally see how we will fare better than the other people?
Oh, you should be very, very specific when you are entering into any domain. And if you know about the competitor, mention them. Yeah, it is always better.
I'll ask you one question. Do you know what Netflix is?
Yeah, entertainment.
You do watch Netflix, right? Who's the competitor of Netflix? Who Netflix consider as their competitor? Just a guess.
Any entertainment or time consuming part?
Anybody else? Who Netflix considers their competition? Anyone? Amazon Prime or any OTT channels that's given. What else?
Holidays.
Anything outside that you're doing apart from the screen. They consider sleep as their biggest competitor. Right? Because they don't want you to sleep, they want you to do Netflix. So anything that is taking away your customers from you is your competition. That is that deep customer insight that you should be having about your product. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Lovely interact. Oh, sorry.
Hi, sir. I am a student innovator. So, I wanted to ask, if we share our idea during pitch, will it get copied by companies?
First of all, I'm very glad a women founder here and a student who's asking this question. See, anything that you're building or even thinking about it, there are already 10 people who have already solved or doing something on that across the world, right? So if you think you have an innovative idea, if you do a Google search, you'll find there are already people doing it. So it's not about idea.
In my case, it's about the idea actually. No one has done it. The solution is very simple, to be honest. It's just that nobody has thought about the solution. So if I share some details about it, someone else can actually do a startup on it.
So if you share and if they would have already done it, they would have already done it. So don't worry about pitching your idea. It's all about, as Deepak is saying, execution, the deep customer insight, and how will you make money for you, and eventually if you're looking to raise investment for the investors. That's important.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Lovely speaking to all of you, and thank you for your time. Hope you go away with one key takeaway from this masterclass. And if you've not applied to Liftoff, please apply, and see you in any of our next cohorts. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you.